Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went video game when we built the graffiti gun from Overwatch. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link in the description below to our channel's homepage so you can go over there and check out Graffiti Gun or any of the other super cool builds we have there. Now for this build we're going to stay video game because video games are tons and tons and tons of cool props. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. Look at that monster. Wow, that's right. It is the Sledgehammer from Red Faction Gorilla. Check that thing out, man. Big, chunky steel head. It's got this cool little thinner piece on the bottom. The blade tapers this way, Got the hole in it like that. And look at that cool handle. Super easy. You got some little recesses all along here. Got this cool little gizmo on the end. Not sure what it's for, but it's pretty cool looking, and it's kind of recessed in there. Got a little bit of a valley down in here. A lot of cool little details on here, but super easy. This thing is totally easy. So in this episode, making an EVA foam Red Faction Sledgehammer, we're going to build this whole thing, we're going to seal it, and we're going to paint it. And we're going to paint it up to look all dirty. Look at that cruddy and weathered. It's grody. And the orange is all dirty in there. And we've got like oxidized stuff on the handle. It's got black and gray, kind of changes tones, and just an overall kind of like grime on it. Super easy. Easy build, easy paint job. And we have a template for this thing too, so if you want to build along with us, you can. We'll include the link in the description below to our storefront so you can go over there and snag a template if you want. Or don't, just chill and watch. That's it, man. Enough of me yapping. I'm going to shut it. If you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Okay, we're going to start building our sledgehammer with the big head part of the hammer. So we've got a super crazy thick 48mm piece right there. We've got a few of our marks made on it. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to come in with our Forstner bits. All right, this is the winner. All right, we're going to take this over to the drill press and we're going to poke this hole out first. Okay, we're going to use a 24mm piece of foam as a base to raise it up because we want to go through the piece and out the other side and not hit the metal table. All right, so we're going to slide this in. We're going to get it centered right over our hole like that. Nice, look at that rascal, that is beautiful. All right, now we're going to knock these edges off on the bandsaw real quick. All right, there we go, beautiful. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this line right here and we're going to use this as where we're going to do a bevel cut. All right, so we're going to stand this up and we're going to slide it through the bandsaw, but we're going to have the table tilted because we want this cut to be a bevel. And we're going to transfer the same line over to this side. Now we've got it on both sides. All right, so now this is the angle. We made a little template. This is the angle we want the table to be tilted on so that when we send it through the bandsaw, we've got a perfect bevel. So let's go tilt our table so that the blade is on this angle. All right, look at that. See that? We've got the angle here and here because we tilted the table and sent it through the bandsaw. Look at that, pretty nice. All right, now we used our template to draw our side cut. Now we're gonna go over to the scroll saw and the bandsaw to cut this out. All right, look at that. Nice. Okay, so now what we did is this bottom section has that cool taper. See that? It's got a little taper on both sides. Really nice. We got our hole punched through it. Okay, now we've got one more cut to do. Okay, this is going to be our top cut. So we're going to bring our top pattern in. And we're going to... All right, there we go. Now we're going to make these two cuts on the bandsaw. Okay, now what we did is, because this is too high to send through the bandsaw, so we're in a little bit of trouble here. So we took our line, we flipped it over to the bottom, and if we put this on the outside, we should be able to get this cut before this piece runs into our block. All right, so let's try it. All right, there we go. Not bad. We've got this tapered. We've got our shape cut out. We've got this tapered, but this was really not working because we can't get this huge piece through the bandsaw. So we've got this really bad edge right here, and we've got this line is not lined up perfectly, but it's okay. We've got most of the shape roughed out. So now we're going to come in with our Dremel and our rough bit. All right, there we go. We took a bunch of that off. It's not perfect, but this was tough to get through the bandsaw. That was a little bit of a problem, but it's not that bad. Pretty solid still. Now we're going to come in with our smooth bit, and we're going to clean it up. All right, there we go. We are looking pretty good. Now we're going to come in with our 80 grit sanding stick. We're going to take off some of this bandsaw stuff on here. Now we're going to come in with our 220, try to smooth it out a little more. All right, there we go. Now let's seal it. All right, check that out, man. That's pretty sharp. Look at that, man. That's swell. All right, we've got our bevel on the bottom. We've got our taper at the back. We've got our shape cut out. We had a problem trying to get through the bandsaw, which we should have planned that out a little bit differently, but we got away with it. We smoothed it out pretty good here. This side we smoothed out pretty good there too. Plus we're gonna be weathering this up and making it look old and nasty, so that won't be a problem. And once in a while you pick up a cut like this. Like we tried to cut off part of the edge and we hit it with an X-Acto blade. So what we'll do is we'll come in with our quick seal and we'll fill that gap so that you won't see it. And then once we seal it with Plastidip and we weather it up and make it look old and banged up, it actually is not gonna look too bad. That's pretty cool. All right, here comes our handle. This should be really easy. We're gonna make the base of our handle a 24 millimeter and an 8 millimeter. So we're gonna cement these and stick it together. I like to tighten up the foam before I glue sometimes. Just gives it a more sealed, smooth surface when you're gluing. Doesn't quite soak in as much. So we just hit the surface and it kind of tightens it up a little bit. All right, there we go. Now, you know the drill with contact cement. Coat both sides, give it a few minutes, let it totally dry. See, some of it's already drying over here and in here. Let it totally dry and then it'll make contact. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in with these 3 millimeter pieces. All right, now we're gonna put one of these on each side of this piece. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut these long cuts out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. Nice. Okay, we did that because we want these nice square edges so that we can bring these pieces in and line them up right on there like that on both sides. Right, and we want to make sure they're arranged this way, where the top will be on this side and this side. All right, so what we're going to do first is move this out of the way, and we're going to cut all these holes out. All right, that's it. That's simple. Now we get these nice corners by standing our knife straight up, because when you stand the knife straight up, you're using the tiniest part of the blade, so you can get a nice tight swivel and your knife starts acting like a scroll saw. So you just stand your knife up and you can pivot right around a tight circle like that. And that's it. Take your time. Beautiful. All right, there we go, both of them. Really easy stuff. Now we cut. All right. That's pretty close. All right, there we go. We've got these nice little recesses here. Now again, this is the top here and here. Now we're going to come in and we're going to take this piece and we're going to do the same thing right here. Sweet. There we go. We've got both sides of our handle done with our cool little recesses. We kept it pretty clean. Nice. All right, here we go. Now we're going to bring in the rest of our template. And we're going. All right, there we go. Look at. Okay, now we're going to go over to the bandsaw and the scroll saw, and we're going to cut this out. Wow, check that out. Super nice. All right, there's our great big handle. That's pretty cool. All right, now we're going to come in with these little 3mm circles. We're going to knock them out with our X-Acto knife. Just like that. All right, there we go. Really simple. Now we're going to come in and we're going to put these right in here like that. All right, now we're going to take our Dremel, we're going to soften that edge just a little bit around both of these. Two little raised little rivet thingies in the middle of those recessed areas. It's super easy stuff. You can totally do this. This whole thing's been easy so far. It's kind of critical though to have a bandsaw, but other than that, pretty easy. You could actually cut this body shape out with your box cutter, with a sharpened box cutter, because the blade is plenty long enough. You could have easily cut that out with this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our dust mask on and we are going to soften the edge of this handle all the way around it. All right, there we go. We got a nice beveled edge on all four sides. That's pretty nice. Very cool. All right, let's get our 220 sanding stick out and let's smooth that edge just a little bit more. All right, let's seal it. All right, there we go. Nice and tight. Wow. Very cool. All right, now we're going to make a mark so we can attach this. Go ahead and center this side. Right there and there. All right, so we've got our marks. Just so we don't mess it up, let's make sure we've got front and the front. All right, there we go. There's our lines so we can cement. Center this. We're going to line the back up because the back needs to be flush. So we're going to get it right up against the back of that edge, flush like that. Place it down like that. There we go. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Nice. I'm loving this little bevel cut right here. So it has that cool little shoulder right there on both sides. That's nice. And it's centered right in the middle. Wow. That's a sledgehammer right there. All right, now we're going to come in with this 36mm piece and it's going to go right back in here. So we're going to go cut that out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. Check that out. Now it's going to come in and, ooh, sweet. It fits right in there nice. Now we're just going to come in and... Okay, so now what we did is we measured this dimension, okay, from right here to right here, this width. And we transferred that mark over to here, and then we're tapering the back. All right, so now we're going to go cut these two cuts on the bandsaw. All right, we did the side cut, then we rolled it up, and we did this tapered cut. So now when we come in and we put this in here, it's going to fit in there perfect. Oh, wow. I think I might take a little bit off of this end right here. All right, but that's easy. We don't need a power tool for that. All right, there we go. That is pretty sweet right there. That's gonna fit in there nice. Lines up with that edge and that edge. All right, now let's slightly round this edge. Now let's make a mark where we're going to be cementing. Center this back piece. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, there we go. Looking pretty good. Some little spider webs here, but we can get those off. All right, here we go. Now we got to be careful because we want to get this stuck down. I'm going to have to keep this side lifted up in the corner there and in the corner there. There we go, pretty good. Now we can lay this down right in the middle like that. All right, there we go. It's always tricky in the corner because if you hit one side first and it locks in place before you've got it down in the corner, you're kind of in trouble. But there we go. All right, there we go. Look at that, man. That's tight. We've got contact all the way down here into the corner. All right, now we've got these simple pieces that are going to make up the end detail on our handle. We've got some 3mm, 4mm, and a 12. Okay, so okay, now we're going to just hit this corner just to slightly take that sharp corner down. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 12mm piece and we want this back piece to be perfectly perpendicular. We don't want it tilted at all. So we're going to do this edge on the bandsaw and then we'll do the rest by hand. All right, we went ahead and cut the whole thing on the scroll saw. It wasn't bad at all. Right, let's go ahead and transfer our gluing line over to this side. Line our edge up as flush as we can get it. We're gonna... Perfect. All right, there we go. Ooh, that's pretty nice. That is really smooth. And now what we're going to do, just to be extra careful, is we're going to take our smooth bit and we're going to go right along the seam and it'll kind of make it disappear a little bit. All right, there we go. Man, that is perfectly smooth. Wow, very nice. All right. All right, there we go. We got our center mark in there. Now we know. Line up right there in the middle of our mark. And we're going to push it down and get it in there tight. All right, there we go. That looks good, man. Wow, this thing is cool. It's big and it's really solid. Nice. All right, man, check that thing out. That is really cool. So with that last detail, putting this little end dealie on there, that brings the build portion of our Red Faction Sledgehammer build to a close. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to fill this gap in with our quick seal. Just get it on your finger and you mush it in to that. Get a tiny little bit of water on your finger just to smooth it out. Like that. Smooth it out. All right, there we go. Check that out. We've got our gap filled in. We smoothed it out with a little bit of water. We'll just let it dry. Okay, here we are at the spray stand. We're going to begin coating our Super Jam and Sledgehammer with our Plastidip. And you know what we always say, even if you're outside in a well-ventilated area, do not spray without your respirator. All right, there we go. Check it out, man. Coated in multiple layers of Plastidip. It's pretty dry already, but we're just going to give it a little bit of extra time. We're going to set it there. We're going to let it totally dry. Actually, we'll probably hang it up through the hole just to let it dry all the way through all the coats. All right, we're going to get our pumpkin patch out, our orange. Get our orange on our sponge brush. It doesn't matter if we get all over the body because we're going to be painting that. All right, there we go. We've got our orange and we've got dark in the corner, which is exactly how we want it to look. So it's got a little bit of a grungy, distressed feel, and our orange is not completely filled in. It's a tiny bit on the transparent side. You can see little blotches through it. All right, there we go. We've got both sides coated in orange. And all right, now we come in with our silver. Okay, now we're not pushing very hard. We're just tapping really light, and look what we're getting. That is so perfect. It's got a dark rim around the circle and dark in the corners. All right, now we're coming in with our satin black. And the reason we're doing that is because this black is much richer than if we just left it the Plastidip black. All right, perfect. Okay, now what we're gonna do is right along the inside of this little edge right here, we're gonna clean up the orange. Just like that. All right, here we go. There's all of our black coated. Okay, now we're gonna come in with our real brown and a little bit of black. Tiny little bit of water. All right. Let's get let some of the water get out of the way there. All right, there we go. We're gonna take our paper towel, paint the side of our piece just like this, and down in here. All right. Lightly dab on here. Now we're going to come in and we're going to just darken up certain areas. Right through the orange, just like that. That is super grimy. This orange area here. All right, we just squeezed out some of our wrought iron. It's a dark gray that has a little hint of blue in there. Break up the black area just like that with some of the gray. All right, just find some spots. Look at that. That's cool. What that's doing is that's giving it kind of like a naturally oxidized look. All right, there we go. Man, is that beautiful. We came in here and we just hit with our wrought iron just to start breaking it up. See that? It goes from wrought iron to black to gray to black, and it's just broken up. We broke it up all the way down the piece. We did it on the side too. See the tone change in there? Same thing on that side. A bunch of it in here just to really give it that nice look. And with all that crud we've got in there, this really came together nice. Look at that. That is sweet. Really simple. You saw it. Super simple build and super simple paint job. Heck, that's it. With that last detail, which was coming in with our wrought iron and adding to the black to make it look a little oxidized, that brings our Red Faction Sledgehammer build to a close. Boom, there you go. Nice and easy. Easy build, easy paint job. You saw how we sponged on there, real sloppy. You don't have to be neat because we leave the dark corners. Brushed a little orange on there. You saw us do this back piece all silver, but we went in off camera and painted the ring black, which is what the reference we had shows, so did it black. Left the center silver though. And then we came in with the mud wash, and man, the mud wash really pulls it together. It instantly looks grimy and dirty and gross. So that's it, easy stuff. That concludes making an EVA foam Red Faction Sledgehammer. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're gonna go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.